Welcome to your VISTA Leader Orientation, also known as VLO. In this section, you'll start to build the foundation for a strong start to your VISTA Leader year. During this training, you will learn the definition of a VISTA Leader. You'll explore VISTA Leader roles and how they translate to your VISTA Leader assignment description, or VLAD. You'll begin the process of becoming a transformational leader and review the division of roles between VISTA members, leaders, and project directors. You'll understand more about the VISTA Leader living allowance and benefits, and learn about the chain of communication within the Corporation for National and Community Service, or CNCS.
Before we move ahead, let's pause for a second to address an important action item. If you haven't already, please print a copy of your VISTA Leader assignment description, also known as a VLAD, and have it nearby. To print your VLAD, log into the My AmeriCorps portal and click on your VLAD under My VISTA assignment description. If you cannot access the VLAD in your portal account, ask your supervisor or project director for a copy of your VLAD. You will need this to complete an activity later in the training. Let's start by answering an important question. What exactly is a VISTA Leader?
We define a VISTA Leader as someone who serves to expand and build the capacity of individual AmeriCorps VISTA members and their service sites. VISTA Leaders build this capacity in different ways depending on the needs of local projects. VISTA Leaders serve as mentors, recruiters, coordinators, trainers, community liaisons, and resource providers. VISTA Leaders are former VISTAs, AmeriCorps state, national, or NCCC members, or Peace Corps volunteers who have demonstrated exemplary skills and leadership in community service. VISTA Leaders support and coordinate larger VISTA projects in geographic regions in their efforts to address the needs of low-income communities.
As we move forward, we'll introduce you to the 6 roles of VISTA Leader service. VISTA Leader activities can be divided into 6 main areas. These areas are called the 6 VISTA Leader roles. They are the ambassador, the mentor, the recruiter, the facilitator and educator, the liaison, and the resource generator. Now let's take a moment to look more in depth at what these roles mean and what they might look like during your year of service. The first VISTA Leader role we will discuss is the ambassador. Ambassadors serve as representatives or messengers for certain institutions or interests. So, as a VISTA Leader, you'll serve as a representative for national and community service in your region. Act as a spokesperson for VISTA, your sponsoring organization and their respective missions, and represent an ethic of service demonstrated by your individual commitment to serve. The ambassador's goal is to promote the national and community service movement and raise awareness about AmeriCorps VISTA. This means letting people know about successful VISTA projects, encouraging community volunteers to get involved in VISTA projects, and raising visibility for AmeriCorps VISTA. The ambassador role aims to create mutually beneficial relationships that strengthen VISTA members and their projects. These relationships may range from simple commitments to well-defined partnerships or strategic alliances. The second leader role is the mentor. Mentors are trusted counselors or guides. They are tutors or coaches. It's important to remember that a successful mentor guides more than they direct. As a VISTA Leader in this role, you may develop a peer-to-peer mentoring relationship with VISTA members, or you may have more experience than your VISTA members and share new skills and information with them as their mentor. You might develop formal or more informal mentoring relationships depending on the needs of your individual VISTAs. The mentor's goal is to foster a purposeful relationship between themselves and VISTA members interested in developing skills and finding opportunities for personal and professional growth. The assumption underlying the mentoring relationship is that the mentee is trustworthy, competent, dedicated, and motivated to grow and develop with support from the mentor. At times, the informal mentor will be called on to guide the mentee through a challenging situation. In this way, the VISTA leader's goal is to act as an ally or coach to VISTA members when they are struggling. Next, we come to the third leader role, the recruiter. Recruiters persuade others to unite their abilities and expertise to achieve common goals. So as a VISTA leader, you may be responsible for finding the right VISTAs for the next year's open positions, selling the position, site, agency, VISTA program, and region of the country where the position is located, and serving as a matchmaker to connect someone's skills and desires with the right position for them. The goal of the recruiter is to advertise open VISTA positions and attract as many qualified applicants as possible. Moving forward, we get to the fourth VISTA leader role, the facilitator or educator. Facilitators foster and maintain mutually respectful, safe, and meaningful learning environments, and educators are responsible for imparting knowledge, skills, and attitudes to group members. In this role, you might serve to help identify VISTA members' learning and development goals and work with them to achieve those goals. Then, you might act as an educator to directly impart knowledge to your VISTA members. Or, it's more likely that in this role, you'll facilitate learning and reflection by identifying and creating learning and growth opportunities for members to engage in. The first goal of the facilitator or educator is to create opportunities for VISTA members to reflect on and learn from their service experience. The second goal is to facilitate opportunities for the transfer of knowledge, skills, and attitudes that contribute to meaningful and productive projects and personal growth among VISTA members. The fifth VISTA leader role is the liaison. A liaison is someone who connects two or more individuals or groups. As a VISTA leader, this role will require you to maintain awareness of the relationships between key players. The key players are yourself, VISTA members, supervisors, your sponsor, your CNCS state office, and the community. You'll also need to identify the needs of these players. Then you'll use your awareness of these relationships and needs to act as a communication link and a conflict resolver or mediator between the key players. This could involve a complex situation like resolving conflicts between a VISTA member and the sponsor site, or something more simple, such as connecting a VISTA member with someone who can help them meet their project goals. The ultimate goal of the liaison is to bring people together. Part of your responsibility as a VISTA leader is to ensure relationships between team members are on track and that members have what they need in order to accomplish the goals set out in their VISTA assignment description. Therefore, as a liaison, you'll often be the person members come to when they have a conflict or an unmet need. The sixth and final role is the resource generator. A resource generator identifies and builds relationships that lead to the acquisition of needed resources. As a VISTA leader, this final role will require you to actively identify, link, educate, and connect yourself and your VISTA members with those who have power and influence when it comes to getting the resources you need. Resources can be physical items like money or materials, or they can be less concrete things like information or community partnerships. You'll also need to build and constantly expand a network of relationships to support resource development objectives. The resource generator's primary goal is to facilitate VISTA members' successful completion of project tasks by helping them access the resources they need. Time to stop listening and stretch your brain. Let's apply the VISTA Leader roles to your own thoughts about leadership and your VISTA Leader assignment description. Pause the training and access the VISTA Leader roles reflection activity below this video. Take a few minutes to review your VLAD and use it to complete the 3 questions in the activity. Then come back to continue the training.
Now that you've explored the definitions and goals of the 6 VISTA Leader roles and thought about how they might apply to your VISTA Leader year, we'll move into a discussion that'll help you dig deeper into your understanding of what it means to be a VISTA leader. Transformational leadership is defined as a leadership approach that causes change in individuals and social systems. This leadership approach was first developed by leadership researchers Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner in the late 1980s and can create valuable and positive change for both leaders and their VISTA members while helping members themselves become leaders in their own right. Let's talk about the 5 key practices of a transformational leader. The first practice of transformational leadership is inspiring a shared vision. You can use this practice by envisioning an exciting and believable future for your VISTA team and their role in the organization, and by enlisting others, such as community volunteers, sponsors, and other stakeholders, in a common vision by appealing to their core values, hopes, and dreams. Inspiring a shared vision will help your team maintain common goals as they move through their year of service. The second practice of transformational leadership is enabling others to act. You can use this practice through fostering collaboration between your VISTA members and service sites by promoting cooperative goals and building trust, as well as by strengthening your VISTA members and project partners by giving choices, developing competence, assigning critical tasks, and lending support. Enabling others to act will help your VISTA members work more effectively as a team and build their own professional skills. The third practice of transformational leadership is challenging the process. You can use this practice in your VISTA Leader year by searching out challenging opportunities for yourself and your VISTA members to change, grow, innovate, and improve services, processes, or programs. Also by experimenting, taking important risks, and learning from inevitable mistakes, and by helping your VISTA team do it too. Challenging the process will help you and your VISTA members grow during your service years through seeking out new experiences and reflecting constructively on mistakes. The fourth practice of transformational leadership is modeling the way. You can strengthen your leadership style through this practice by setting an example for your VISTA team, behaving in ways that are in line with your shared values and project vision, and by serving to ensure that you and your VISTA members are achieving small wins that promote consistent progress and build commitment to the project and team. Modeling the way will help your team stay motivated and on track, and it will help you strengthen and examine your values and vision through embodying them for your team. The fifth and final practice of transformational leadership is encouraging the heart. You can implement this practice as a VISTA leader by recognizing the individual contributions of each of your VISTA members, and by celebrating your VISTA team's achievements regularly and genuinely. Encouraging the heart will help you ensure that your VISTA members build a strong sense of fellowship, community, and pride in their individual and group achievements. Let's take some time to further explore how the 5 practices of transformational leadership might shape your actions as a leader. Pause the training here and access the Applying Transformation Leadership Practices activity below this video. Take a few minutes to complete the 3 questions in the activity and then come back to continue the training. CNCS invests in VISTA leaders at AmeriCorps VISTA projects to have a strategic impact in 3 areas: recruitment, retention, and performance. So far in this training, you've been introduced to the definitions and goals of the 6 VISTA leader roles and to the 5 practices of transformational leadership. I'm sure you can start to see how VISTA leaders have amazing potential to strengthen recruitment, increase the retention of VISTA members for the full year of their service term, and grow the performance achievement of the VISTA projects where they serve. When you're done with this training, be sure to take a look at the 6 VISTA Leader Roles document linked below this video. It's a one-stop shop for reviewing the roles of VISTA leadership, what knowledge, skills, and attitudes will help you in those roles, learning about some practical implementation strategies, and how to achieve the highest levels of impact by applying transformational leadership.
Now that you've been introduced to some of the foundational concepts of VISTA leadership, let's get into some practical knowledge that it's important to know about. The division of roles between a member, leader, and supervisor. VISTA members, VISTA leaders, and VISTA supervisors all play different but complementary roles throughout the year of service to support the project and ensure success. VISTA members are on the ground, building capacity for your sponsoring organization. VISTA leaders are providing support to the VISTA project and VISTA members throughout their year of service. VISTA supervisors are supervising the VISTA leaders and members throughout their year of service. Although these roles are complementary, it's critical that everyone understand the key differences between them, as some activities which are permitted for certain roles are inappropriate in others. Let's take a minute to look at some key areas where VISTA leaders and VISTA supervisors perform complementary but different activities in their roles. Related to data collection, VISTA leaders may collect and organize the data from VISTA members for reporting purposes, while VISTA supervisors use that data to prepare and submit reports in e-grants. Related to on-site orientation and trainings, or OSATs, VISTA leaders may help to secure guests, speakers, and facilitators for OSAT, while VISTA supervisors must develop and implement OSAT. During VISTA recruitment, VISTA leaders are allowed to assist in scheduling and participate in interviews of top applicants, while VISTA supervisors are the only ones who can nominate candidates for selection and approval by the CNCS State Office, also known as CSO. And finally, in relation to supporting VISTA members' success, VISTA leaders can listen and provide advice when VISTAs encounter problems and barriers, while VISTA project directors are required to provide ongoing and scheduled supervision to VISTAs. Overall, VISTA leaders are meant to provide support to the VISTA project, while VISTA project directors are responsible for overseeing or supervising the VISTA project. Here are a few of the more common project or member support activities that VISTA leaders may be asked to perform that are unallowable. Offering a VISTA member position to an applicant. Only VISTA project directors or supervisors can offer positions to prospective candidates. Working directly with VISTA site supervisors related to member issues. VISTA leaders should only work with members when they want to report an issue. After that, the VISTA leader must inform the project director, who will work with the supervisor to resolve the problem. Being involved in any personal action, such as reprimanding a VISTA member or requesting the removal of a VISTA member. Following up on any criminal history check related issue with an applicant or candidate. Supervisors and project directors are responsible for communicating with the corporation state office and prospective members concerning issues that may arise from criminal history checks. Being assigned full access to e-grants. VISTA leaders can only perform limited recruitment-related activities in e-grants. We'll discuss this more in a later training video. Signing member timesheets if the project uses them, or performing supervisory duties related to approving VISTA leave time, collecting, invoicing, or billing site support fees, or being involved in cost share payment process, signing MOUs with subsites, and providing VISTA Leader support to other National Service Program participants such as AmeriCorps state or national members. And lastly, a VISTA Leader should not be performing VISTA member duties in addition to his or her VLAD. If you are assigned these duties or others that you feel may be inappropriate, speak with your supervisor immediately to remove you from the activity. If needed, please contact your CNCS state office for additional support. We will give you contact information later in this presentation.
Before we wrap up this first training, we'll take a few minutes to do a quick overview of the additional benefits you'll receive as a VISTA leader. The benefit you're likely to notice first is the higher living allowance payment. With the added responsibility of being a VISTA leader, you'll also receive a higher living allowance than a regular VISTA member. Leaders receive $2,400 more per year, which works out to about $200 more per month than VISTA members who are serving in the same area. You can find a link to VISTA living allowance rates below this training. Like all VISTA members, VISTA leaders receive 10 days of personal leave and 10 days of sick leave, student loan forbearance and or deferment of student loan payments, the AmeriCorps VISTA healthcare benefit, a child care allowance for eligible individuals, relocation travel assistance and a settling in allowance for those relocating more than 50 miles to serve, non-competitive eligibility, or NCE, for federal employment, and the AmeriCorps Siegel Education Award or the End of Service Stipend. Did you know that leaders receive a higher end of service stipend than regular members? It's $3,000. Leaders also receive unique professional development opportunities, which will be discussed in the final training section of the VLO, Continuing Leader Development. If you have specific questions regarding VISTA Leader benefits, be sure to go back to the Benefits of Service page of the VISTA campus, which is linked below this training, or you can call the National Service Hotline at 1-800-942-2677. We've mentioned CNCS state offices throughout this training, but where exactly does the state office fall in the CNCS chain of communication, and where are VISTA leaders? CNCS is divided into two main programs, Senior Corps and AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps VISTA is a program under the AmeriCorps umbrella. State offices are located in almost every state across the U.S., and each CNCS state office develops and approves VISTA projects and provides support and oversight throughout the project lifecycle. Sponsoring organizations report to the CNCS state office. VISTA leaders can be placed at both single-site VISTA projects with 8 or more members, or in an intermediary project that manages 8 or more members across multiple sites. VISTA leaders may also be placed to support multiple projects in a single region. We'll zoom in on the state office a little, just to give you a clearer picture of who's who. Your sponsoring organization is monitored and supported by a CNCS program officer, or PO, in your state office. The PO reports to the state program director, or SPD, in your state office. Sometimes your program officer could be the state program director as well. We recommend that you introduce yourself to your state office if you haven't already. You can send them a quick introductory email. All state office emails are structured state abbreviation at cns.gov. For example, the Ohio State Office is at oh@cns.gov. You can also find a link to the contact information for all state offices below this training video. If you have questions or concerns, always go to your project director first. Go to your program officer if the issue or question isn't resolved, or if you feel uncomfortable addressing it with your project director.
This information will serve as a strong foundation for topics related to many possible leader activities that will be covered in the virtual leader orientation. That being said, please keep 3 important things in mind. No 2 leader positions are the same, Each leader will be doing different activities and serving in different roles. And every leader has different talents and skills that will be uniquely suited to the way they serve as a VISTA leader. Thanks for engaging with this first VLO training video. Don't forget to check out the resources that we mentioned linked below. Up next, once you're ready to move on to the next topic, scroll down to supporting your VISTA project and region.